This is a sponsored video, just so you know. Hello and welcome to today's video, which you might have heard is sponsored, which means I get to play this disclaimer. Yes, that's right, this is a sponsored video, meaning that I've been paid to look at these supplies, but all the opinions are my own. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do that. Yeah, this is my first properly sponsored video where I'm actually being paid to review something and not just sent art supplies for free. So super exciting for me, super exciting for the channel, and this is the first of 2 videos from this company. This is Phoenix Art Supplies, which I'm going to be absolutely honest, I had not heard of before, but they reached out to me and they had some products which intrigued me. Now, you know me, if I'm intrigued by something, I want to get stuck into it. So today we are going to be looking at this, a watercolor pocket set that holds a few surprises. I think we should crack this open. Okay, let's bring in the product. So this is the Phoenix Art Supplies Artist Quality Watercolor Pocket Set Classic Tones 48 colors. That's quite a mouthful, but that's a lot of information on there. And the reason I chose to review this out of their products is because it has twist, which is like an assembly thing on it. You see here it says twist. Each twist can be freely combined and assembled, and this is a bit that intrigued me, as well as the actual paints themselves. I'll give you some more information when we're swatching these colours out, but this is the box that it comes in. You can see a little bit of what we're going to be getting here. We've got all of these colours as well, from lemon yellow hue, which I hate saying on camera because it always comes out weird, to cadmium orange, Chinese white, indigo, viridian, cobalt, ultramarine. There's a lot of colours there. 48. It's a 48 colour set. But let's have... I've not opened this yet, by the way. This is my first time seeing this. You are seeing it at the same time I am. So we've got this here. Oh, we've got a few things. Right, okay. Oh, right. Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm going... Oh. Okay, we've got a little swatch card. Very, very nice. I like that it folds up as well. That's got all 48 colours on, and it looks like... Ooh, let's have a little look on here. Cadmium, yellow pale hue, bright yellow. Yeah, these are in the same order that they are on here. And I think that the way these are shaped here, can you see that? Might be the way they appear in the palettes. We'll know that when we open it up. We've got our little instructions here, which looks like it was folded incorrectly. We've got our tone chart. Can I open this up anymore? No, it seems like that is it. Got transparency, resistant formula, refined pigments, 48 colours. Right, and we've got a little bit about the twist series thingy mabobby. Right. Okay, enough with that. Let's have a little look at what we've got. So we've got a couple of bits underneath. How does this come? Okay, that just comes out like that. And we've got a brush in here as well. And then we have got... right, okay. These just click apart. And then we have this here. So this, I feel like, is the main section, and then you've got all of the others. I'm just going to try putting these together how I think they go. So this twist technology, from what I see, you put them together and twist, and look at that. They are now seated together. Does that work with the side ones as well? Yes, it does. And on this side, okay, so Now can you see why I wanted to review this set? What starts out as a very small box turns into this very impressive palette. And then we've got these bits here, which, what's that? Oh, I think that's a sponge, like a drying sponge and a little bit of a palette. Where does this click on? Down here maybe? That looks right. So I think it should go this way maybe. Ah, there we go. Right, so that's going to slot in there nicely. And then we've got another one. It is saying on the box that it should be up this side. So let's do it the way that it says in the box. We'll pop that there. And then we've got this one up here. And then we've got this, which is a little collapsible silicone water pot. There we go. And we've got a brush, which let me just activate these bristles. This is a really nice, snappy brush. It's a little bit loose here. By the way, here's a little bit of a tip. If you ever get one of these brushes and they're a little bit loose, twist it first to see if there's a point that it's not loose. There is with this one, so you can twist it and open it. If you twist it around and then it kind of locks into place. If you're having difficulty finding it, take this part, the metal part, just give it a little bit of a squeeze to make that more of an oval. And when you slot that in, it's going to be much more secure. So then you get a lovely, nice little brush. I've had these brushes before. They can be an absolute nightmare. So number 5, is that a... yes, we've got a little watercolour sponge here to clean our brush. Water pot. We've got this that we can use as our little colour mixing palette. And then we've got all of these colours. Should we have a little look at what colours we've got? And I kind of don't want to tear this off because it's got the colours printed on them beautifully. And just to check, where's the, oh, there it is, the colour palette. Yeah, that does match up with what is on here. So I'm going to go through and swatch them as they're supposed to be. But before we do that... Oh, that's actually quite sticky. I wasn't expecting that. I feel like that's going to leave residue on stuff. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Okay. Good to know. Let me... It's stuck to my finger. Get off. There we go. Do these individual things come out as well? That's why Swiss Army knives are so helpful. Yes, they do. Not the easiest to get in and out, but they do get in and out of the palette, so you can rearrange it as you want, if you want. Right. I think it's time. I think I need to tear all of these off. We've got some residue left on that blue there. Hopefully that comes off. Okay, we've got a little bit of water in our pot here, which I'll come back to in a minute. We do have a little rest next to the sponge thing here, but honestly, that's not really gonna hold my brush there securely. It's there, but it's not great. Let's go through and swatch these out. So they do have, on each swatch, it actually tells you, if we look at the chart here, we've got a light fastness, so we can see underneath by the little plus symbols how light fast they are, and we can also see their transparency by the boxes. So a clear is completely transparent, going up to completely filled in, which is more opaque. So for instance, the Juin Brilliant Light, I hate saying yellow in French, is completely opaque, or the most opaque that these colours can be. The Lemon Yellow Hue is completely transparent. Scarlet Lake is between, but higher towards the opaque. And have we got any that are in the middle but closer to the transparent? We don't. But looking at the light fastness, everything here is a 2 or a 3, which is either good light fastness or extremely light fast. There's nothing below a 2, which is brilliant. That's really good. And of course, this little swatch thing can come around with the whole set, so we can know exactly what colors we are using as we're using them. Right, I'm going to go and start swatching these out. We'll do a little time lapse, and whilst I'm doing that, I'll tell you a little bit more about Phoenix Art Supplies. So I said I'd give you a little bit of background about Phoenix Art Materials. So they were founded in 1995 primarily as a canvas manufacturer and have expanded since then to be one of China's biggest art suppliers. So they supply paints and other things to other companies as well. If you know anything about Chinese manufacturing, you know that they will supply other brands with products. And I believe, although I don't have it for certain, but my understanding is that some of the supplies from Phoenix actually go out to some very big, well-known brands. So I think the quality of these paints is going to be reflected in that. As well as being a huge manufacturer, they've also won a whole host of awards internationally as well. And yeah, I'm very happy to be sent this, because even though I didn't know anything about them to start with, Forbes actually said that they are a hidden enterprise. So I'm very interested to find out more and continue working with Phoenix Art Supplies. Okay, let's have a look at these swatches, which are now mostly drying. See, a couple of them are still a little bit wet. And actually, the pigments are very nice. There are a few that are questionable in terms of their names, but we'll come to that in just a moment. Now, my issue when you have a set which is 48 colors or more, 48 seems to be one of the larger sets you can get, is you start to get repetition of colors. And we've got a little bit of that here. So for instance, the vermilion hue and the cadmium red pale hue, this one here, are very similar. They are different, but they are similar. They also have different opacities as well. And the place that you usually get these double ups are the oranges and the greens. In the greens, we've got a similar story. The Hooker's Green and Hooker's Green Light, obviously they are going to be similar, but the permanent dark green, or green dark, is also within the spectrum. Also has a different opacity as well. Now we've got sap green and we've got olive green, and I love this olive green. The sap green I feel should be a little bit more towards that olive green, a little bit more of a yellow ochre in there would probably bring it up. I am very impressed with the earth tones, the siennas, the Indian red, the umbers, the Van Dyke brown. They are all really, really lovely colors. Obviously, the white hasn't shown up because it's white, and this is white paper. And this, again, slight bugbear of mine with any swatch sheet. You always have white on a white thing, and it's like, okay, well, what's it going to actually look like on top of other colors? But we'll come to that at another point. It has high opacity as well, so we can test it over some of these other colors. But I'm very impressed with the pigmentation of these paints, with the spread of the paints as well. But this, so far, has been a studio test. And to really test this out, we need to do what I think this set is made for. Go out in the field. We're going to do a little bit of plein air today. So Join me as we leave the studio to test these paints out in the wild. Hello, hello, hello again. We are back from our outing and yeah, it's time to get down to brass tacks. Let's talk pros and cons. I think we should start with the cons first. There are a few. They're minor, but there are a few. So first things first, and this is a very minor one, but this rubber cup, as great as it is, I would love it if just this top section was a harder plastic so you could actually properly collapse it in. It's a very small thing, but it would make life so much easier if that were the case. Second thing, and it's another one of the attachments, it's this sponge here. So you might have noticed when I was swatching out, I didn't use this. And that's because I didn't realise that it's this kind of neoprene type sponge, which you have to soak in water first. I'm not a huge fan of these sponges, and in fact, I fully saturated this. I've used it, as you can tell. It's then been left to dry out a bit, and it's going back to that horrible neoprene thing. And I don't want to soak a sponge every time I go to use my palette. So I'm probably going to swap this out for a different kind of sponge. Con number 3 is the swatch card. There's a lot of good to say about the swatch card, but my one bugbear with this is that it doesn't actually fit in the case. If I put this in here and try and close this, that's not going to close in there because it's just slightly too big because of this section here. This little cutout here is preventing this from closing, and it's such an easy fix. Could have made it just slightly smaller, or even have these rotated so that these gaps are together and just cut that section out. And I know I'm being super nitpicky here, but actually this swatch card has a lot of very valuable information on it. Obviously we've got our colors, but we've got our light fastness and our opacity as well. Out in the field, that's the kind of information I want to know. Particularly opacity. When you're working in layers of watercolour and you're going from light to dark, you want to know what's going to give you either transparency or opacity. So I'm going to carry on taking this out with me, but I'm going to alter this slightly. I might even cut it into individual cards and take that little notch out so that it can actually sit in here. Final con. Now to do this, I'm going to have to disassemble this just slightly, just to show you. Okay, so here we are. We've got our 4 little palette bits, and my final con is something actually minor but major. And it is, there we go. It's the fit of these together. So actually, these connections, 2 of the 3 connections are great. Really nice, really solid, really stable. One of them is a little bit loose, and actually that's come out. That's fine. That's supposed to do that. But the actual connection here is a little bit loose, and I would be worried about that coming apart in a bag, my pocket, wherever I've got this. So I think I'm probably going to stick an elastic band around here. And I feel like this is something that could have been overcome with just a little plastic nubbin, or just a slightly tighter tolerance there would have meant that that issue was no longer an issue. But with regards to cons, that is pretty much it. We're going to move on to pros once I show you this, because I really like the way this goes back together. So this little notch here that I said was to hold your paintbrush on the palette, not going to do that, but it is perfect for holding your paintbrush just in there. And then the rest of this, again, if this had the plastic top, it would be so much easier to collapse this little silicone cup down, but we pop that in there, and then pop this piece in. And yeah, it's a really lovely compact piece. That is pro number 1, just how compact this is for what you are actually getting in here. Pro number 2 are the paints themselves. As you can see, this is the piece that I did whilst I was out in the field today, and I did this outside. This was done at the woodland that you saw earlier, and I really enjoyed doing this. It was a lot of fun. Not to mention, of course, the fact that it was a lovely sunny day, so I just left this in the sun to dry between layers, and got to sit back and enjoy a drink and just relax. But yeah, the actual paints themselves, I mean, we covered it in the swatches, but the colours are really good. But the actual use of them, I've got to say, these are some very good paints. Pro number 3, and it is, let me just take this all out, nice little thumb hole in there, this brush. Now I have to say, I have squeezed the barrel slightly on one side just to get a slightly tighter fit, but I'm super impressed with this. This whole piece was done with this one brush, and it is really lovely. The bristles are really nice and snappy, but also have a little bit of softness in them, so you're able to do washes but also really fine detail. It's really comfortable to hold. I really like the red wood stain that we've got here. I don't know what wood this is, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably bamboo that's been stained. But it's actually really stylish. I would have preferred it in green, but that's a personal preference. But yeah, I've had lots of these kinds of brushes in the past. This is a very good one. Pro number 4 is the little mixing palette that we have got on here, which actually serves two purposes. When you're using it, you can use it just as a normal mixing palette, but when you've got everything together, it actually elevates the whole palette towards you slightly, so you can see much clearer what you have. It's a very small but very appreciated touch that just gives an extra level of ergonomics to your painting, which I really, really like. But for me, the main pro, the thing that really sells this to me is the twist system. The thing that made me interested in it in the first place is the thing that I like the most. I'm just going to show you how easy this is. So you've got these little things here. You literally put them together, twist, and there you go. You've extended this. What this does is it gives you the variety of colors that you want from a large palette in a small footprint. Now you can expand this out, as you saw. You can make this much, much bigger into quite an impressive palette in itself. And this to me feels like a studio palette, but this is to take out with you. It's kind of giving the best of both worlds. It's giving studio outside, which I think any kind of plein air painting, that is exactly what you want. You want to feel like you're not compromising at all in the supplies that you're able to take with you. And that is exactly what this is giving. So I am very, very happy with this. And there we go. Perfect to stick back in my bag and take out with me. Now remember what I said about Phoenix paints. I am super impressed with this, and this is not the only supply we have from Phoenix to review. So later this month we're going to be diving into something else, multiple things in fact we'll be looking at. But this is an artist quality palette at a really good price. Go and check it out online. It's going to be great for beginners or professionals alike. Honestly, I do highly recommend. If you've seen my pros and cons, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Please do leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. But we're going to leave it there for today. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And until next time, goodbye.